I'd say when someone sees that label, see Crest of the Blue Ridge, they should just get a feel of being there on that ridge top where all these grapes are being grown. The warm days, the cool crispness of the night, and all that carries over to the wine itself. You get that warm feeling, you get that crisp, fresh feeling, so you get it all. It just shows the success that we're having here, and the success comes because the quality of the venues. Every one of those vineyards is unique in itself. You have some that are a little more of a sophisticated type of a venue. You have some that are way more relaxed, some that are keying off of the scenic views, some that beautiful vineyards and laying out in the middle of seeing creek beds and things like that. So all of them have something unique to offer. So anybody visiting here comes in, you won't just go to this vineyard or that vineyard because there's something way different over here and you don't want to miss out on that opportunity.
And my husband and I, Lemuel Oates, we started the vineyard in 2007. Our vineyard was the second vineyard to open. The first one was St. Paul, and we had talked back and forth about an AVA because we were finding that the soil conditions here were right for grapes and we were having good harvest, and so we started the research on getting an AVA. Several more vineyards getting ready to come on, and we just thought the timing was right to try to start it. And we called Mark.
Well, if I remember right, I mean, we were 2 or 3, the pioneer vineyards is what I would call them, you being one of those, and that was back in 2015. One of the key factors there is getting the involvement of a geologist is at least July 2019 before it ran through all the government entities and Treasury Department and everybody in the world, I think, looked at it. But we've got 7 active, have tasting rooms open to the public, and we'll have 2 more come on board in the coming year. So that's taken, this is going back now basically since 2011. Crest of the Blue Ridge was a name that I think first appeared to like in the early 1900s, but that Crest of the Blue Ridge stuck.
And the Continental Divide was a big part of us getting the AVA. The geologist, when he went to our vineyard on Burnshirt, that's the Eastern Continental Divide. This property here is the Western Continental Divide.
Well, in the Eastern Continental Divide, what people don't always know is it does literally divide the section of the continent where water, when rain falls at one side, it goes into the Gulf of Mexico, the other side, it goes into the Atlantic. One of our vineyards actually has their tasting room built right squarely on top of it so that the roof line, water to the Gulf, water to the Atlantic, and that's pretty neat. We've talked a little bit about this, Sandra, but the growing area that we have here is so unique. We're known in Henderson County as being an apple producing area and have been for many generations. But what makes it good for apple production makes it good for grape production. It just took us a few years to realize that. But it really goes back to all the elements there. Number one, starting really with elevation. We're running at about 2,300 feet elevation. Now you've got some vineyards that are much higher than that. We'll have a 20-degree drop in temperature, easy, every night, 20, 25 degrees. So that's a wonderful thing for wine grape production. So I just say we've got all the right conditions here.
We have a long growing season too.
We do, absolutely. With the 7 vineyards we have, it's interesting because they're all pretty close proximity. I doubt there's 20 minutes distance between the 2 furthest points. So somebody comes to the area, they can make their rounds pretty quickly. It's a nice little, as we call it, a little wine trail.